What's up, guys? I'm sorry, I've been MIA for a little while. I've been very busy doing some very cool things.
Sir, introduce yourself.
I'm Dalton. This is my Fox body. It's a 88 Fox body with a Ecoboost 2-liter.
That was fast. So, into video. Sounds good.
Yeah. You will probably spin.
He said it, not me.
So my man Dalton is back with his Fox. You guys might remember this from last year. Wide body, beautiful to me. Some might be like, well, the paint's not good, whatever. You know, it's got character. I love that.
Today we're going to be going over how much it costs to Ecoboost swap your car. Well, more specifically my car, because I'm going to be using all the pricing from the parts that I put on my car. The Ecoboost swap in general to get like a stock Ecoboost in your car, and all the upgraded parts and other specific parts that I have on my car. So let's break into it. Let's break it down a little bit. Don't mind that I moved the camera over this way a little bit to center myself up, and pay no attention to the RB25 sitting over here. If you guys want to do a stock swap, the total comes out to about $3,700 for what I have into this car for the stock motor, not including the upgraded turbo or the high pressure fuel pump, anything like that, no trans. This is just what it takes to get an Ecoboost engine inside of a Fox body Mustang and have it run. So the first thing up is the engine itself. I can list out all day long where you can find $600 to $1,000 engines. I've seen them as cheap as actually like $580 for higher mileage ones, but I just quoted the price at $600 because that's about, I wouldn't say average, but that's average of the lower end engines. ECU, if you're going the cheap route, which is what I did at first, Ant Steering has a ECU and sub harness combo for $900. Mustang swap parts. So the oil pan, the intake manifold, the coolant crossover pipe, gaskets and stuff associated with that. It's about $450 from Tasca. You need a Focus ST pedal, or I think there's a couple other ones that work. I can't verify 100%, but I know the Focus ST one works, and that's $90. The trans adapter, you could run a separate trans in this. I have a trans adapter to adapt over to a small block Ford bell housing pattern so that I can run the Tremec TKX. There are transmission options that are a little bit weaker than the TKX that will bolt right up, like Ecoboost Mustang transmissions, some Mazda transmissions. You'll need a subframe. The subframe I'm running in this car is an AJE subframe. It's the one I make mounts for. Actually, I gotta add that too. Mounts are $100. If you buy them from me, they're $100. You'll need a front mount intercooler. You need to cool the air charge going into this engine. The one that I'm running is a Mishimoto R-Line, and they run about $300, depending on if you can get them on sale or something, you can get them cheaper. Piping for this engine, I'm running just an Amazon 2.5-inch piping kit that comes with like 10 different pipes and a bunch of couplers and clamps, everything, $150. Amazon all day long. So that brings the total out to $3,700. Add in another $100 for the engine mounts. Ooh, I forgot to add. So this doesn't matter for most people, but whenever I bought my engine and ECU, they did not have a harness option for the escape harness. They now do. So if you go with the Ant Steering ECU, you can get an option to plug straight into the engine harness if it comes to the car. If you don't get a harness with your engine, you can look on Tasca. Focus ST harnesses are about $200 brand new. So you can add that to the price if you get one without a harness. Mine came with one. I think most come with the harness. Moving on, we'll go over to what it takes monetarily to make 425 horsepower. This engine in my car is bone stock other than these three parts. A B&R ST71 turbo, the whole kit is $1,700. 2000cc injectors, it's all direct injection stuff, so no aux fuel or anything like that. It's the more expensive route. Those injectors run about $700. And a XDI Evo high pressure fuel pump. The stock pump will run at about 360 wheel horsepower, give or take. This one will get us past the 425 wheel horsepower mark. We could actually go way further power-wise on that pump. The engine won't take it though. That high pressure fuel pump is about $1,400, adding up to $3,800 total for the additional parts to make this engine make 425 horsepower. I've also included a budget option. You can run the same turbo, so the same price, $1,700, and aux fuel. You can either do the direct into the port aux fuel. It's a spacer that goes between the intake manifold and the head, and it has 4 injectors. That kit's, I think, $1,100 right now, or you could go with the throttle body injection. So there's another plate that will go right behind the throttle body. It adds 2 injectors in. It can do about 450 wheel horsepower depending on the injector choice. That kit, I think, runs about $900. So if you want with a more budget option, you could save about $1,000 in fueling mods if you want aux fuel instead of the high pressure fuel pump and direct injection injectors. The reason that I went with the direct injection setup is because I think it's more reliable. I've ran the aux fuel on the engine that's actually sitting under the bench with a cracked block. What had happened was that is a completely separate system. It has its own controller, its own injector, its own power feed. If anything goes wrong with that system in particular, it can either stop working and not fire the injectors when it needs it and run lean and blow the engine, or the injectors can stick open and flood the engine. And that's what happened to this engine here. Injector number 1 stuck open and hydro-locked cylinder 1. I prefer to stick with the direct injection route. It's all using all the OEM computer and software and everything. It just has upgraded parts. So if you add all this together, if you go the more expensive route, it's about $7,500 for a swapped in 425 horsepower Ecoboost engine. Save a little bit of money. You could do the $6,400 option with the aux fuel. All this is general. This isn't all the every little nut and bolt and washer that you need. This is just the hard parts. I would probably add another $500 to any of these. Well, $500 to this. We'll call it $4,000 total, because you're going to need a lot of little things. You might have a broken sensor on your engine. It might be another $50 for a sensor, or a gasket that's leaking. I mean, these engines that I'm suggesting that you guys get are mostly like 100,000 miles plus engines. They might need a water pump. They might need some gaskets. That's a price to add in here, but I think that it's a better value than buying a brand new engine. The brand new engines from Ford are 4 or 5 times as expensive as these used engines. You can save a lot of money doing a little bit of work yourself and refreshing an engine a little bit to get it in your car. If you guys have any questions about any of the parts or anything used in the swap, I'll link all the Mustang parts in the description below. It's linked on the Ecoboost 101 video, but I'll link it in this video again. If you guys have questions, put them in the comments. I've tried to respond to every single comment. As long as it's good, don't be mean. I won't respond to you. So stay tuned. I have some more stuff to do to the Mustang. I'm going to try to record some more of the drift events. I have one coming up here in a couple weeks. Just look out for those videos when they come out. We'll see you guys later. Little post-video thing here. Don't mind all the suspension bits. This is all my new angle kit or cut knuckles. These are the new engine mounts that I'm making. I'm going to be selling these as a U-welded kit. If you guys want to save some money, I'll do $60 for the kit unassembled and unwelded. It's all tab and slot. So these just slot in and weld up the sides, or I'll weld them for you, send them out. I don't paint them because you're probably better off getting them powder coated, and I don't have anything to powder coat. But the assembled ones are $100. So hit me up if you need some mounts. Peace.